Hi friends, welcome to my channel. So with this playlist, with this video, I am going to start a new playlist with Hive module, Hive playlist. So in this playlist, we will be covering all the topics related to Hive in a big data. Hive is one of the database in a big data ecosystem. It is very mandatory in a big data world because it will provide the SQL kind of interface for the developer, so that the development will be faster when compared to the other MapReduce model. Okay, so Hive actually it is a data warehouse software which facilitate reading, writing, and managing large data sets. Okay, in that distributed storage environment. So so any technology, why Hive introduced to the Hadoop environment is before Hive earlier only two layers were there. So one this is for storage HDFS, for processing MapReduce. Okay, MapReduce what was happening is in MapReduce we have to write complete Java code, right? And for mapper one Java program, and reducer one uh, Java program, and driver one Java program, right? So for development it was taking lot of time. So they came up with the thought of developing one more module, okay, one more interface which will provide SQL kind of interface. Without SQL kind of interface, it will not become. It cannot be popular, because for the companies who are using this open source Hadoop, if the development time will be more, okay, if you follow, if you are following MapReduce, okay. So that's why Facebook developed Hive to process the structured data. Hive is like a like same Hadoop database, okay, data warehousing, where once you process the data, or you can save the data in a tabular format. If you want to store the data in tabular format in Hadoop environment, Hive is the best solution. And you can query the data using SQL syntaxes, and you can build the SQL scripts as usual if you are familiar with the SQL kind of technologies. Okay, if you are working with the database technologies, you can easily develop the Hive queries also easily. Okay, that's why Facebook developed the Hive to process the structured data. Okay, Facebook also used using Hive to store the data and to process the data. So as I explained earlier, so earlier developers used to write MapReduce. Okay, so it is replacement of not replacement, it is alternative to MapReduce programs. Okay, so internally so if you see, this is the Hadoop architecture. For storage is HDFS, processing is MapReduce, Hive, Pig. So Hive to handle the to process the structured data. Okay, that's why they named as a Hive. So Hive, that honey hive, if you see, all the holes will be a structured formats. Okay, in a proper line. Okay, that's why they named as a Hive. That means using Hive we can store and we can process the data, structured data. Pig, why they named is Pig? Using Pig now we can process structured data and as well as non-structured data. So the terminology pig will eat non-veg and veg. So that means using Pig, non-veg means unstructured data, veg means structured data. So both we can process. That's why they named as a Pig. So if you write Pig script or Hive script, again internally it will be converted to MapReduce. That module will take care how to convert, and all that framework will take care. Okay, then after processing you can store the data in HDFS or in wherever you want. So once you executed Hive script or Pig script, again it will be converted to MapReduce. What is the use means development time will be faster, because instead of writing MapReduce code, developing Hive script or Pig script is simple, right? So it will be development time will be very less. Once Hive and Pig new ecosystem tools came, then after that this Hadoop became famous because it is providing SQL kind of interface. With any technology or any framework, if it is not having SQL kind of interface, then it will not become popular. Okay, that is the main reason. So Metastore is one more thing. So Metastore is a central repository of Hive metadata. By default, Hive will use Derby Metastore. So internally, so Hive, as we discussed earlier, Hive will store the data, right? It is a database, right? It needs some metadata, right? So Derby is a by default metadata metastore for the Hive. But concurrent users cannot be connected to Hive at a time if you follow the Derby, if you use Derby as a metastore. Okay, that will be totally session oriented. So concurrent users cannot connect Hive at a time if we use Derby. That's why, so MySQL will be, we will use MySQL for the metastore. So as usual, MySQL syntax will work in Hive also. If you select MySQL as a metastore, this will be taken care by the Hadoop admins, or if you are a developer, if you know the configuration, that time also you can do. So in my case, in my playlist, I have installed Hive in Ubuntu also, and Cloudera also I will install. I have already entered that Cloudera version Hive. That we will discuss actually. If you want to configure, in upcoming videos, I will explain how to do. How to configure this MySQL in place of Derby and all. So this for now, just to you learn what is Derby. By default, this is very important question also. What is the default metastore of Hive? That is Derby. Then based on your project or based on your requirement, you can select other databases also, like Postgres, MySQL and all. So popular one is the MySQL only. Postgres, Oracle, there will be lot of options that Hive can support for the Metastore. So most popularly used one is MySQL. So Hive is a separate layer on top of MapReduce, SQL kind of layer on top of MapReduce. If you execute Hive scripts, so internally it will be converted to MapReduce, and result will be stored into HDFS any other storage. Okay. So this is introduction to the Hive. Hive, that is the main data warehousing tool in the Hadoop ecosystem. So now we'll see how to how to connect to Hive, how to open Hive command prompt, how all these things we will see now. So closing now. So I am using Cloudera Quick Start VM 5.13. Just that is for training and all. We can use the Cloudera Quick Start VM. You can open through the any VMware player. Then once once you open that Cloudera home, just open terminal and type Hive. So we have to type Hive. In the real time also same, but you will be having access to the edge node. In edge node, you have to type Hive. Here this is practice purpose, right? So this is the Hive command prompt. Now you can type all MySQL syntaxes. Okay. show databases only. This is the default. What is the default database in Hive means? Default, name itself default only. If you create you can see in all the databases. Show tables means it will show all the tables in the default database. Like that, currently no tables are there. That's why this is the Hive command line. And one more, see, this is using command line interface. You cannot write, you cannot play with that, right? You need some editor, right, to execute. For example, SQL Server. We have that SQL Server MSSMS, Management Studio. Oracle. For Oracle, if you want to write queries and all, you have Toad. Similarly, for Hive also we need, right? That's why we have Hue. We'll call Hadoop User Experience. Hue we have. So how to open Hue, and in real time you will get a link from that Hue, from the like this kind of link you will get. If you click on that, you will get it will be open. This is the Hue Hadoop user experience. Okay, if you are in project, if you are using Cloudera Hadoop, you will be once you process the data, this is main your data warehousing tool, right? You can write the queries, you can play with everything in the Hive. Here left side you can see Impala and Hive. So that is again different. Impala, Hive, both database. If you are using Cloudera Hadoop, Impala also will come. Again, in one of the video will discuss why Impala, which scenarios we have to use Impala, which scenarios we have to use Hive. So okay. So this is the editor. There you can query. This is in the here you can see select star from table name. All these queries you can write here. This is Hadoop user experience. Okay, this is the editor. So these many things it will support. Usually Hive and Impala scripts will execute in Hive. Going forward, we'll learn one by one. Okay, this is the introduction to the Hive. This is one of the ecosystem tool in Hadoop environment, and it is a SQL kind of interface on top of MapReduce. That's it. Okay, thanks.